So if you watched any of my last few videos, you'd have seen that I've talked about processing quite a few mental emotions while being on Kaftrio. And I think the main one that I've processed and got to grips with and finalised in my head is probably guilt. Now, before I start rambling on about this, just know that I'm not trying to dictate what you do in life, or, you know, you should be doing this, you shouldn't be doing this. It's just basically where I've come to in realisation and reflection on the guilt side of it. Because when I first got on Kaftrio, I kind of went through the guilt stage of thinking, right, I've had 33 years of not being able to do much. Well, to be honest, I've been able to do things, that'd be a lie straight away. But I'm probably now capable of doing a lot more than I could do. So my energy levels are higher, so I could do more in the day. My concentration might be a bit higher, so I could better myself in work, or I could do all these fantastic things that when someone gets well, the way the world works, it's what you want to start doing or what other people think you should start doing. For example, people will say to you, oh my God, now you're well, what are you going to do? Now you're well, are you going to go climb Mount Everest? I mean, no one's ever asked me that, but that's the kind of thing that goes through people's minds. Like, now I'm well, I've got to do something so fantastic to make up for the fact that I've been ill for all these years. You know, it's going to have to blow my mind, it's going to have to blow people's mind. I have to be a better version of myself to the point where, you know, I'm making use of this drug. And, you know, that's why I started thinking at the start. I was like, right, what can I do now to change my life and it be absolutely amazing? And, you know, what am I going to do to shock everyone and prove to everyone that I'm dead well? And as time's gone on, my mindset has changed again to, do you know what? Doing what I did before and being comfortable and well is amazing. I don't have to now start going out and, you know, changing the world. I don't have to now become sort of an Olympic cyclist because I can breathe more. I don't have to backflip every time I walk down the road. You know what I mean? I don't have to fundamentally change anything about my life. And I don't have to feel guilty that, you know, I've got all this energy now and I'm going to waste it because I'm alive and I'm well. And being alive and well is not a wasted life, is it? You don't have to compare to anyone else, because if, say for instance, I put that mentality into play, so every single person that is normal, well, why aren't they climbing Mount Everest? Why aren't they Olympic gold medalists in every single thing? Because potentially or technically there's nothing stopping them. It's not a realistic view of life, is it, to now start thinking you have to do something extraordinary? And let's put it this way, I personally have suffered. If you're watching this, you might have suffered or had a family member who suffered for so long with cystic fibrosis. Maybe it's just nice now to live out your normal life without the worry, stress, anxiety, pain that you've been going through for all them years. Maybe it's time to give yourself a bit of an easier ride. And that's kind of where I've got to with it now. This is more mainly about sort of the peer pressure that you put on you, pressure that the peers might put on you, not even knowing that they're doing it, or maybe even the pressure you put on yourself. If you really, really want to go and do something now, that door has probably been opened. But just because the door's open, there's thousands of doors that are open, it doesn't mean that you have to now start running through every single door you see. You choose which door you go through. And if you don't want to go through a door, you don't feel guilty about it, because now you're free to live your life how your life should have been lived. But that doesn't mean you have to do anything spectacular. But if you do, and if you want to, then more power to you, because that's amazing. That's amazing that you can now go and do that. But if you're not the kind of person who's inclined to do that, because to be honest, I'm not the kind of person who's inclined to do loads of extra things. I like getting up in the morning, me and Liv going to work, going to the gym, having a look around shops, doing normal stuff, and going to bed. Maybe play a bit of PlayStation in between. But that doesn't have to change now. That doesn't mean that I want my life to be any different now. I want my life to be exactly the same, but I want to do everything easier. which is what I expect from this drug and which is what I've been feeling from this drug. So I think, you know, I've rambled on a little bit, but I think the main message is, even though you feel better, you can still be yourself. And there is nothing wrong with just being you. You don't have to go absolutely mental. Live your life how you want to live it. You've got loads of opportunities, maybe do things that you couldn't do before, but that doesn't mean you have to do every single one of them that's presented to you. Just be you and don't feel guilty, because you don't owe anyone anything. You don't even owe yourself anything. You just do you. Whatever you want to do it.